Who's actually going to get the most out of the ASUS TUF Gaming F16? Who should walk away? And does it justify its price tag for the average buyer who just wants a solid laptop that can handle a few games and some work? If you're on the fence, you're probably wondering whether the specs translate into real-world performance or if you're just paying for a badge. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last couple of weeks pulling apart a few similar 16-inch gaming laptops, reading what owners complain about in the forums, and testing the TUF F16 on the kind of tasks most people actually do: streaming a game, editing a quick video, or just juggling school assignments between multiplayer sessions. What I found is that the laptop lives in that uncomfortable middle ground where it can do a lot, but it also forces you to make some compromises that you'll feel right away. Let's start with the display because that's the first thing you'll notice. The F16 sports a 16-inch FHD Plus panel with a 144Hz refresh rate and a 16:10 aspect ratio, which means you get a little more vertical real estate for spreadsheets or browsing than a typical 16:9 screen. In practice, that extra space is noticeable when you're editing a timeline in DaVinci Resolve or scrolling through a long chat while you game. The panel covers 100% of the sRGB color space, so colors look vibrant enough for casual photo work, but you won't get the deep accuracy that a professional Adobe RGB calibrated monitor provides. For most gamers, the 144Hz refresh makes fast shooters feel fluid, and the IPS-Level viewing angles mean you can share the screen with a friend without the picture washing out. The heart of the machine is an Intel Core i5-12 series processor paired with an NVIDIA RTX 4050. On paper, that combo sounds like a sweet spot for 1080p gaming, and it delivers in most titles. I ran Fortnite and Valorant at medium settings, and the laptop consistently hit 140 to 150 frames per second, which is enough to keep the 144Hz screen busy. When I switched to more demanding games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the frame rate dropped into the 5,565 frames per second range, still playable, but you'll have to lower some settings to stay smooth. The RTX 4050 also lets you enable DLSS, which can boost those numbers without a huge visual hit. So if you're a competitive gamer who sticks to esports titles, this laptop will feel snappy. If you're chasing ultra-high settings on the latest AAA releases, you'll notice its limits. One of the hidden trade-offs is the memory. The F16 ships with 8GB of DDR5 RAM, which is technically fast but not a lot for modern multitasking. I tried running a game, a browser with 10 tabs, and a Discord voice chat simultaneously, and the system started to swap to the SSD after about 10 minutes. The laptop does have an extra SODIMM slot, so you can upgrade to 16GB later, but you'll have to open the chassis, which isn't as straightforward as on some competitor models. If you're planning to use the laptop for heavy video editing, running virtual machines, or any workflow that leans heavily on RAM, you might feel the pinch early on. Storage is where the TUF F16 shines a bit. The 512GB PCIe Gen 4 SSD feels instantaneous. Games launch in seconds, and the OS boots almost instantly. However, the 512GB capacity can fill up fast if you keep a library of modern games. The chassis has a second M.2 slot, so you can add another drive without replacing the first one, but you'll need a screwdriver and a bit of patience. For students or gamers who don't keep a massive collection, the space is fine. For anyone who wants a portable Al-Anon library, you'll probably need to budget for a second drive or external storage. Cooling is an area where ASUS tries to differentiate itself. The laptop uses arc flow fans, 4 exhaust vents, and 5 dedicated heat pipes that the company markets as efficient cooling. In real life, the fans spin up noticeably when you push the RTX 4050 in a demanding game, and you'll hear a low whine. Under sustained load, the CPU and GPU temperatures settle in the mid-80 SC, which is acceptable for a thin gaming laptop, but you'll notice a slight throttling after about an hour of continuous play. In a quieter environment, the fans can